Hi, I'm Douglas Welch. Welcome to A Gardener's Notebook. This is my son Joe. Today we're going to retire our 10-year-old platform feeder that we built from spare parts when we first moved into this house. As you can see, it's a little bit ragged. You can see where the squirrels have chewed things, and it's starting to fall apart. It's it's rotted at least once off at the bottom, being it's a wooden pole. So what I did is I visited my friend at Wild Birds Unlimited, WBU.com, and I arranged to get an advanced pole system. And this is a unique system whereby you can hang all sorts of different bird feeders. You can have different arms and various things. So we're going to show you how that goes into the ground today. Okay, first thing we're going to do, Joe, is get rid of this.
Yeah.
How do we get rid of this? Think we just pull it out? Give it a tug. Watch out for splinters. Ready? Ready? Grab it. Oh! Oh my goodness! Well, look at that. Okay, we got some extra seed on top. We'll put out for the birds here.
And squirrels.
But yeah, as you can see, the wood is rotted off pretty badly here. So what this did, it tended to make it a little unstable when we got our heavy rains and stuff. So good service on this bird feeder, but we're going to replace it. Okay, Joe, why don't you show them the first thing we have to put in the ground here? What's that? Can you hold it up here? If you notice, this is the base pole, and you notice it has a nice corkscrew on the bottom, and this is how we're going to screw it into the ground. Now, actually, we're going to pick a different hole. We don't want to put this in the same hole, so we're going to move a little bit to one side or the other. And, hold on, Mr. Joe, and notice here, there's a little hole in the pole, so as you get it further down in the ground, well, hold on, to get it further down the ground, we're going to put a screwdriver in there and rotate it into the ground to get it nice and firm into the ground. Okay, you ready, Joe? Let's say, what about right there, right? Okay, now, you got to remember, we're going to put this quite a distance into the ground so it's nice and stable. Now, we also have another stabilizer we're going to put on the bottom of it as well, and that's what Joe's holding up there. Let's keep going here. It's almost getting too hard to turn by hand, isn't it? Okay, here we go. Where's our hole? There we go. Why don't you turn that around? Nope, other way. My son Joe. What do you think? You think that's deep enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we have to attach this.
Right, now we have to attach the stabilizer. Why don't you show that to the camera, Joe?
This is the second stabilizer we're going to use.
Okay, let's watch out for our soaker hose there. We don't want to hit that. So it's over the top, down into the ground. How do you think we're going to get out that in the ground? What do you think the best way of doing it?
Stomping on it.
Yeah, I think stomping on it might be the way to do it, yep. All right, stop out here at the edges. There you go. Get that one in. Get it good, get it good. There we go.
There we
Okay,
go.
let me get this one a little more.
Doesn't it rattle?
There we go, nice and sturdy there, okay? Tighten that screw up on the bottom to hold it nice and tight. Okay, what's part two?
Two is
Our extension pole, right?
extension pole.
Now again, there are all sorts of different heights of these poles. You can make it however short or tall you want. This is actually going to be a little bit tall, but we're going to have an arch arms on the top, so the feeders are going to hang about here.
And this is the squirrel barrel.
That is a squirrel, what?
Barrel.
Baffle.
Baffle.
Squirrel
Whatever.
baffle. Now you notice, well, if you look inside the squirrel baffle, there's no way it's going to stay up on this pole itself. It's meant to slide up and down, so we have this little ring here. And again, the only tool we're using to do this is just a little Phillips screwdriver here. So what we're going to do is, they say you want the squirrel baffle about 5 feet off the ground. So we're going to just screw it onto our pole here, a little collar.
And look, as you notice, squirrels' nails cannot climb this.
No, it's pretty slippery for the squirrels, isn't it there?
Or this.
Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to have to help you reach it up and over. Oh, let's find our hole. There we go.
Here, you got it.
And there's our squirrel baffle. Now, I've watched these on my friend's feeder, and these are pretty effective at keeping the squirrels up. Now, I don't mind the squirrels in the garden. In fact, you may have heard a little bit ago the squirrels were actually clamoring around near the camera. But I do like to keep them out of the feeders just so they don't empty them so fast. They are little voracious little devils, and they will empty a feeder pretty quickly. Okay, so now what's the crowning part? It's our arched arms, and they have flat arms. They have
arch feeders.
They have arched arms, they have straight arms, they have arms that look like natural branches. They
And
even
there
have...
is one that flings the squirrels off.
That's a different feeder, yeah. It's, one that spins the squirrels off.
And there's a bungee one.
So one thought on this possible, in addition to this pole, and another reason I bought this system is it's expandable. We could add another set of cross arms going this way. We could add some additional branches and basically change it however we wish. So, Joe, Well, first of all, we're going to need some string for that one. So I tell you what, why don't you go ahead and load up, grab some of the bird seed we got. Why don't you step out in front here. Well, actually, we're not going to use that one. Let's use this one here first.
That one might take up the entire bag.
Well, we're only going to put a little in right now. So here. Now we're using existing feeders that we already had in this case, but you can of course buy new feeders if you want. There we go. Put a little bit in him. We'll bring our lid down. Now this is a squirrel resistant feeder, and I say squirrel resistant because there's really no such thing as a squirrel proof feeder. People may tell you that they are, but and all we do is we hang it up nice. Okay, let's look. What we're doing here is we're making a little handle for a feeder that Joe made at our little winter festival that we had at his school a couple months ago. Can you get that, Joe? Okay. Now in this case, though, we're going to need a little cup, I think, to fill this one. It's only got a little feed hole on top. Okay, so you got to tweak the cup there a little bit so it goes in, not around. You're actually standing in front of it, Joe. There you go. Okay. Maybe a little bit more in there. It's always good to have feeders in your yard that you have some connection with. As I said, we made this one at a little winter festival. The nice copper feeder here we actually picked up at a discount sale, I believe a Nature Company store, which doesn't exist any longer. But it's a beautiful feeder. It's a little bit weathered from being out in the weather, but you know, overall it's pretty nice. Okay, Joe, I'm gonna hang this one up. You ready? Okay. There we go. Now, as I said, we could add extra arms. We can add bags of Niger seed or thistle seed to this feeder. We can really, from this point, go anywhere we want to go. So if you like to feed birds in your yard, and I certainly do, I love having the sound of the birds in the yard. I love having the squirrels in the yard. It just makes for a nice little forest atmosphere, even though we're here in the middle of an urban environment. So if you like to feed, check out an APS system, an advanced pole system at Wild Birds Unlimited. They might also be available elsewhere, but Wild Birds Unlimited is WBU.com. WBU.com. That's all for now from Douglas and Joe. Say goodbye, Joe.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for our Gardener's Notebook, and have a great day.